Me again, I just turned off the camera from filming the outro to the previous version of this video, but essentially this was going to be one video, had too much footage, decided to split it up into more. So this is going to be part 2 of my little New Year's reset. I'm not sure what I'm calling this, but essentially it's a few days in my life where I'm actually taking action toward the goals, and not in a way that is going to be totally overwhelming or anything, just in a way where like these are habits that I'm keeping up. And I am honestly like, I am in my cozy enjoying life era. I'm living life for me. I'm having fun with it. So I'm not about that toxic productivity. I'm not about any of that right now. I am living my best life and just enjoying it, and working toward these goals is genuinely something that I am enjoying. Some more than others, because like the finances goal isn't really fun for me. It stresses me the F out, but you get the point. They are basically all things that are going to improve my life in the long run, and I am taking actionable steps toward them in a way where it's just gentle, and I'm not going to just overwhelm myself and feel like I have no time for me or time to even think. So if you haven't watched part 1 or my first little New Year's reset where I went over my goals, I did this whole exercise for like who I want to be at the end of the year and did my vision board, just kind of setting everything up, I will have both of those videos linked down below. But to give you a refresher, let me get my phone so that I can see what my goals are, because I don't want to miss one. Even though I like know them in my head, I don't want to miss one. So I'm just looking at my little 2024 Notion page. If you guys wanted to see more in depth on that, I did give a little mini tour in the first video that I did for New Year's. And if you wanted like a full in-depth tour on goal setting and how I ended up going about all of that, because I got so overwhelmed with watching everyone else, so then I just kind of found a way that worked for me, let me know and I can definitely do that for you guys. But for my macro goals for 2024, which are essentially the intentions that I have, they're things that I'm working toward throughout the year, we have speak French more frequently, gain control over my finances, establish healthy eating habits and heal disordered eating, keep the house tidy and uncluttered, create content regularly, be more responsible and on top of my workflow, try new hobbies and learning something new regularly, keep on top of habits and organization, grow as a graphic designer, feel healthy and happy in my body, read 125 books, read 25 self-help books, limit time using social media and time wasters, and continue my spiritual journey. So the clips you're about to see, I actually filmed this morning, so now I'm ready and it's gonna kind of jump in time. But when I'm talking, I might be talking like it is still part of the other video, but that's because I hadn't done the rough edit on the other footage yet. And I was thinking as I was filming that, I should probably do that because I feel like I have a lot of footage. And in fact, I do. So now I'm done that rough edit, but I don't know that I will be doing something toward every single one of these goals for this video, just because I did some in the last week, but you still get the idea. This is all like over the course of 1 week. So it's whatever. I'm over explaining it, over complicating it as I usually do. Let's just get into the actual video. Good morning. It is about 7 or so, but it's a new day. So I'm letting go of, I don't want to say the failure of yesterday, but what I feel like didn't go to plan yesterday, and starting off fresh. And as you've seen, I've had a really great morning. This is how I honestly try to start all of my days, is with taking that time for myself, doing my journaling, all of that. And as you saw, I do pull some tarot cards every morning. I don't really know that much about it, but it's just something that I like doing. So I just do it in a way that works for me. But I have this beautiful deck. It is an Alice in Wonderland deck, and it is just gorgeous. Like, I love all the cards. The illustrations are absolutely amazing. So that is what I have been using. But there are a couple of goals that I am going to be working toward this morning, now that I have like my free time. So first of all, I am going to read a book, which is obviously working toward my goal of reading 125 books this year. And I feel like I'm kind of behind, but I'm not really worried about it because, to be honest, winter isn't usually like a major reading season for me. I feel like summer is when I really come alive and do most of my reading. So I finished a book yesterday. I finished Outrun the Moon by Stacey Lee, which I did enjoy. It's a YA historical fiction, and it was very interesting. It's set during the San Francisco earthquake and like the Great Fire of San Francisco. It's a very touching story, very difficult at times, but I thought it was super well done. So now I need to find another audiobook to listen to, because I'm going to listen to that and do my knitting, or not knitting, crocheting to start off the day. And then I need to pick up my self-help book again. So I'm currently reading The Power of Fun, How to Feel Alive Again by Catherine Price. Archer did indeed get a hold of this one. This is the only book, like, he's never really gone after books, but for some reason this one, he thought it seemed really fun to destroy it. So this is obviously toward my goal of reading 25 self-help books. I forgot I set a really lofty goal there for this year, but I haven't picked this one up again, even though I was enjoying it. I haven't picked it up again because I'm at a part where I need to kind of sit down and actually do exercises from the book, and because of that I just have kind of like put it down for the moment, but I would like to try and make doing that a priority today. So maybe I'll add it to my to-do list so that I actually end up doing it. But to start off, I want to start off kind of like fresh and easy and find a new book to read. I feel like I want something quick because the things that I have been reading have just been taking me a very long time for whatever reason. So I'm kind of wanting something that is going to fly by a little bit. Maybe an adult romance, because I haven't really read one of those in a little bit. I think I'm actually going to go for Jasmine and Jake Rock the Boat by Sonia Lawley, because it's set on an Alaskan cruise, and that kind of seems to fit the wintry vibes that we have right now. So I'm probably going to change my lo-fi right now. It's like that wintry scene that you saw, but I'm going to change it to like a fireplace to kind of get those cozy vibes going and start listening to this. Today's a filming day, so I got ready. I do make sure to get dressed every day, but I don't usually like put on makeup, and I just did my hair with like the little, I don't know, thingy. I don't even know what it's called, but this little thingy that everyone has where it's like a rod that you put on your head, it actually works so well. Like, the only thing that I did heat-wise to my hair was I took my Dyson and just like last night after I washed it, I make it straight-ish, and then I just wrapped it up and slept on it. Very thrilled with that. I have been using it a lot lately. The only thing is the top of my head will get frizzy, so then I just went over it with like this attachment for flyaways. But yeah, I'm still having a really great morning, but now I do need to focus on some planning. So let's go back downstairs. This year I am putting a ton of effort into my goal of creating more content and being more regular with it. I've had this YouTube channel for 9 years now. I can never remember lately. The point is, it's been a long time, and it's been a long time of just talking about books. And I love books, but I always felt really limited. So one of the things that I mentioned that I did last year was opening up to making different sorts of content. And that has been making a huge difference. I really was able to stay on top of everything and just feel so good about what I'm making. Like this whole New Year's Reset series, I have just been loving. I know that with YouTube, you're supposed to find your niche, but I just wasn't enjoying being in a niche, to be entirely honest. It just made making those bookish videos that I love a chore. And I am just not about that life. So that's why I've kind of been changing things. I don't really give a shit about a niche anymore. I don't really care about the views anymore. It truly is something that is back to being a hobby and something that I'm doing to enjoy. But as much as I'm doing that, I also want to make sure that I'm being consistent with it and prioritizing it, because it is like my passion project and something that I love. Where I was kind of falling into issues was I wasn't really preparing myself enough, and I was just kind of filming when I felt like it and flying off the cuff, which is totally fine, but I also want to work on that consistency so then I can keep the promise that I made to not only myself, but also to you guys, that there will be at least one new video every week. I'm definitely aiming for more, but you know, at least one. So the way that I'm tackling this goal, it has been working so far. The only time that I didn't have as many videos go up as I had wanted to during the beginning of the year is when I wasn't really prepared and I went home to visit my family in Windsor. And that's totally fine. Like, I'm not going to beat myself up over that. I'm not going to beat myself up over missing 1 week, like none of that. I am taking the pressure off of it, which I feel like I already have successfully done. And I am just doing the things that bring me joy. So I've really been considering, what do I want my space to be like on YouTube? And I realized that part of the reason why I wasn't enjoying what I was doing so much was obviously because of my own mindset, and I was struggling with that. But I realized that I really wanted my videos to be somewhere where people can come to be inspired, to feel joy. Like, I wanted to bring happiness to this space and wanted it to be kind of like my own little wonderland, if you will. This cozy, just welcoming, inviting space that we can talk about literally whatever. So that is kind of the whole thing that I have had in mind when I am trying to tackle this goal. In order to really put that into action, I have divided like the editing and the filming, because I kind of got caught up in a thing where I would film a video and then I overcomplicated the editing at one point. So then I just was putting it off for so long, and I would have videos just sitting there forever and not getting edited. So I am not doing that. I'm keeping the editing simplistic. I definitely would like if the editing might be more spicy and fun, but I'm not focusing on quantity over quality, because I still am making sure that I'm producing quality videos, but I'm not like, those little things in videos sometimes take a really long time. And I was realizing that that was taking a lot of joy out of the process. So then it has to go, unfortunately. But essentially, I've divided the days of the week and given them each like a task. So one day is for filming. Today's a filming day, actually, as I told you. One day is for editing. And then that's kind of like my guideline as I'm planning my week. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to follow that to a T. Sometimes on editing days, I won't have anything to edit. Like, it is what it is, but it just kind of gives me an idea of what I should be doing that day. It's a framework that I can stick to, so then I'm not putting off that editing for a super long time. Now today, as much as it's a filming day, it's also kind of a logistical planning day, because we are at the end of the month. And with that being said, I need to plan the next month of videos. So earlier this week, I did a little brainstorm, and essentially for my brainstorms, I just kind of sit there, like, I'm trying to get into the habit of literally writing down whenever I have a video idea or something in a notebook, because I was doing that and it was super, super helpful, but then I kind of fell out of it. But now I have a shiny new notebook that I'm using. I think the reason I stopped with the last one was because it was this small little notepad. I never had enough room, and then Archer chewed it, so then it got all messed up. But now I have this cute little notebook that brings me joy, and in there I'm just writing down top of my head like the things that I know that I need to do, and that will include videos and video ideas. Between bookish and non-bookish videos, right now I'm trying to do kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio, but I'm also not really worried about it. I don't want to just do a bookish video to have a bookish video. That is not what I'm about. I don't want to be like, I feel like with book videos too, I was overthinking it because you need to like remember so much about the books if you're reviewing them, and I just don't have that memory, to be entirely honest. It doesn't matter how slow I read, like none of that. So I just was getting caught up in all of the pressure and the critiques there, and it was just no longer fun. But that coupled with my changing reading taste, I felt like I was letting people down and I just wasn't into it. But as you've seen, like I've gotten over that, and I am doing just bookish videos that I enjoy. So anyways, what we were talking about is the fact that I need to plan videos for February. So I want this to be kind of like a cozy experience, because for some reason, sometimes with video planning and scheduling and everything, I will just get so overwhelmed because there's so many things that I want to do, so many things that I want to talk about, and then I end up overdoing it. That kind of will keep me from actually sitting down and doing it, but I'm going to put like a fireplace on the TV again. I'm going to just have nothing on in the background. Sometimes I would watch something while I'm doing this, but I feel like it's something that I need to kind of fully focus on. And one of the ways that I'm making sure that I'm actually taking action on this is when I am actively planning these videos, I also am planning when I am going to be filming them according to those filming days. I also have my fiance's work schedule here. I'm not wearing my ring actually, just realized that. Sometimes I forget to put it on, but I have his work schedule also in here because then it lets me know, like, I don't vlog. Obviously, it seems like I live alone because I don't vlog when he is home. I just don't like doing that. I'm overthinking everything, and just it won't be the quality content that I want to put out. So I will plan when I'm filming those vlogs around when he's working, but the rest of the stuff, I don't care. Like, I will just film that when he's home. Does not matter. But I find that actually like having this filming schedule here while I am doing my video planning is so helpful. So I do this all on Notion because I literally do everything on Notion now. This isn't sponsored, but I would love if it is. So as you can see here, just to give you a rough idea, I need to like set it up more nicely, but this is my video planning hub. So here I have like general lifestyle video ideas and then general bookish video ideas. And those are just lists, like just a list that I can brain dump all these video ideas onto. Then here, this is actually a database that has cards where these videos are actually like ones that I want to do soon, or they're ones that already have plans, because this is like actually the video card, if that makes sense. Because essentially what I'll do, I can't even see where my mouse is. Where are you at? Thank you. Apple's the real MVP for that thing where you shake it and then the mouse gets bigger. But what I can do is look at this video bank that I have, and then I will just drag it onto the calendar. It is so easy and it makes my life so much easier. So yeah, love doing that. So that is essentially what I am going to sit here and do. And then once I have that all planned out, I will then go and plan my filming schedule according to that. Now, this isn't Bible, like it does definitely, things move around and that's totally fine, but it does at least give me a basis to work from. If you have any video ideas, I'm really in an inspired and creative mood, which is also what my tarot card said this morning actually, and for the past few days, they have been talking about that. But if you have anything, let me know, because I would love to add it to this little bank, and then when I'm going and planning stuff, I just have all of the ideas there. But I am feeling really excited. I'm going to definitely plan all of February, but I kind of want to get into March as well, because I want to try and get more ahead in my filming. Right now, a lot of my filming has been happening and then the editing happens like on the day that the video is going up, and I kind of want to try and get out of that schedule because it's not very productive, because then I have to spend like literally that entire morning or whatever I have to spend getting the video ready, and it just takes up a huge chunk of time. So I'd rather split it up over a few days, and it just like, I have enough in the bank that if I don't film one day, I don't feel like it, whatever happens, it's totally fine. But let's just get into this. like a couple of hours, or really a while, and doing all that video planning, I feel super prepared for the next month. And I actually ended up planning out pretty much through to March. I decided that instead of doing one-to-one, I have like at least one bookish video going out a week. Right now, my plan is 4 videos a week, but we'll see if I can actually stick to that. I would really like to try and challenge myself because I have so many videos that I want to do and have been really enjoying it. I would like to try and like put in that effort and see if it's something that I can do. But that being said, if it's completely taking over things, then it's going to be a no thank you, and I will readjust. But I just filmed one video. I was doing my scheduling and then did the filming schedule, and then I was like, you know what? I really want to film this one today because, like I said, it is a filming day, but it hadn't been one that I was planning on filming today. But it is entering my cozy hobby era, and I've been so obsessed with cozy hobbies and everything lately that I just really wanted to do it. So I filmed that just now, and now I am needing to go upstairs and film the other couple of videos that I have today. So then I'll get 3 done today, and I can actually get quite far ahead if I'm able to keep up with my Wednesday, Friday filming cadence. I think that I will be like really on track. However, I do think that I might want to add short form content into there. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with that. That is one of my goals for today. One of the tasks that I have for today actually is kind of sitting there and brainstorming a little bit of that, because I do enjoy doing that, but I think it's just like the volume that you're supposed to do that really overwhelms me. But the short form content is definitely somewhere where I can really talk about books even more. And that would be really awesome. I don't know. I'm trying not to overthink it and just like do what I enjoy. And I feel like I am actually doing a good job of that, but it still is hard to kind of get out of that, you know? Anyways, I am going to stop procrastinating and go upstairs and get these other couple of videos filmed, because then I have to work on one of my goals that is probably the hardest goal that I have, other than like the health and fitness and healthy eating in general goal. I think that this is the hardest goal that I have, but it's really the most important one at the same time. So I need to actually make an effort toward that today because I have been kind of putting it off. The rest of today is a t-shirt day. I just filmed 3 videos, and I feel like 3 is like my limit. I just made that schedule for February, and it kind of has me filming 3 on some days, and I feel like maybe I should go back and make it 2 on most days, because I think 2 I'm able to do. That rhymed. But I think sometimes 3 is pushing it a little bit. I'm making myself a hot chocolate to just kind of reset, and then I'm going to have a quick snack before I get into my other hard tasks. Filming isn't really hard. Like, filming is enjoyable. It just takes so much energy out of me is the problem, because I'm sitting there and I'm just talking for like, when I'm filming like 3 videos, at least an hour and a half straight. So it is quite exhausting. And by the way, I'm not counting like this as one of the videos that I'm filming because it's a vlog. I mean like the actual sit down videos. When I film 3, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's like 1 too many sometimes. It really depends, I guess, on how early I get started. But whatever, it's not really that big of a deal. So the thing that I am needing to do when I get back into things after taking a little bit of a break is finances. Finances are definitely my biggest struggle because my brain just shuts down. I don't understand it. I don't understand math, and I'm just like, no, thank you. And that's obviously not the ideal approach. I actually, because I haven't been taking care of it, to be entirely honest with you guys, I am in some debt, not an aggressive amount, but I would like to be in none. And I am working slowly on getting rid of that, and also getting rid of my like anxieties about finances, because just ignoring it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and that's usually how I would treat it. So as I think it's probably part of my ADHD, but who freaking knows, but I am a compulsive spender and I need to get that under control. That's going to look like a few things, but this isn't really like a weekly routine thing that I'm doing to get toward the goal of getting my finances under control, because I'm still kind of in the setting up stage. So to kind of work on my compulsive spending, I would like to set up like a wish list and a wants and needs list, because I feel like making that wish list, it then gives me distance from whatever it is that I am looking at buying. And instead of just like getting that instant gratification of getting it right away, putting it on a wish list does satisfy me for whatever reason. And it just lets me, like, sometimes I'll go back and I'll be like, I don't even really want that. So I didn't spend the money on it right away, and then I'll just delete it from my wish list. But today, to get started, I track everything on Notion, as I mentioned, and I've wanted to, for a year now, set up a budget page on Notion, but I haven't really known how to start. So today I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to look up budget pages and see if I can find a template that might work for me, because this isn't really something I can build out myself, I don't think, because I don't really understand it. It just seems too complicated for me, and my brain just says no, just because there's numbers involved. But the one thing that I know that I can for sure do is set up a little budget calendar. So I'm going to set up a calendar where I know like when things are due, when payments are coming in, and that sort of thing. So then I at least have a bit of an overview on a monthly basis of my finances. So I am going to sit down and take a little bit of time to do that after I have my snack. This morning when I was getting ready, I was actually listening to a podcast that kind of goes with this theme. So I've really been loving listening to the Sad to Savage podcast with Shelby Sacco. I highly recommend it, because it's just nice to hear like someone who is like me and just kind of like a young girl who is going through the same things as me and has done the things that I would like to do. So really been loving her stuff. And she had a guest on actually that I ended up buying her book, so that is on the way. I know right now I'm not buying anything, but I felt like this was something that made sense. So it is Deeper Than Money by Chloe Elise. So I will be reading this when it does come in, but I haven't finished listening to the episode yet, but I found that it was once again someone who was really relatable to me, was going through finances in a way that like I feel like I could understand. And her talking was really saying that there was no one like her who really had these financial books or information out there for people. So I really liked listening to that episode and felt like it was very helpful, and I'm looking forward to getting that book. I feel like kind of reading books like that might help me to get a grip on this thing, because it does seem like a beast that I need to tame right now, and it shouldn't be like that. So I think it might take some of the fear out of it. Probably noticed it is quite a bit later, so I did take some time for myself, had a little bit of a break, just because it was definitely like a really busy day. I got a lot done, and I did kind of skip some of my breaks earlier in the day. I'm really working on that to get my workflow in order, but it still is what it is, you know, sometimes you fall off the wagon. But I did start with the budgeting page. I started kind of looking around for some Notion templates, but honestly, I think it's going to have to be something that I sit down and take quite a bit of time to do. And I think that I don't want to say pressure, but doing it on camera is not going to be the best, because I'm like conscious that there's a camera there, and I need to just kind of take the time to sit down and look at a bunch of different templates, see what works for me, see if I can find something that I can just use, because I was looking at some and I just felt really overwhelmed and I need something just minimalistic. So I found a video where someone's like walking through making a minimalistic one, so I might start with that, but I did at least start with making that calendar, and I'm going to have to it's going to take time. Whenever I'm building out something new on Notion, it does take time, but I do feel good that I'm at least getting somewhere with it. So I'm happy with that. I feel like I did definitely make efforts toward those goals today. Now, you saw this morning that I did some stuff toward my spirituality and continuing that journey. And I guess kind of as part of that, it's really encompassing more than spirituality. It's just like staying kind with myself and connected to myself. So as part of that, one of my weekly routine habits that I have is doing a journal prompt. So I'm journaling every day, morning and night, and then also doing like gratitude and affirmations every night. It has made a huge difference for me. I know you've heard about it a million times, but honestly, I love doing it. It has just made a massive, massive difference. So I wanted to also add some journaling prompts into my routine because I always see some on Pinterest and stuff that I feel like I could really use and benefit from, but I wasn't really making the time to do that outside of my regular journaling. So that's what we're gonna do. So usually, or at least sometimes, I'll find them on Pinterest. I find them kind of wherever, and I'll just go with what I feel like I'm needing or what's speaking to me. But I actually got this cool little deck here recently. So it is the Writer Within 50 Journaling Prompt Cards to Inspire and Transform. And I kind of wanted to use this today. I will see what I pull out from here. It's just kind of like a bunch of exactly what it sounds like, a bunch of different cards. Like this one is Write a Love Letter to Earth, which I think seems really fun. Write a love letter in general. It's funny because I shuffled them, but those two happen to be back to back. Go Fearward, which I don't know what that means. Journal Your Despair. Like there's just a bunch of different options for things that I feel like I could really use. So I'm going to pick a card here, and if I'm feeling like I want to do something else, then I will just do something else. It's not that deep. I kind of wanted to do this in the piece of upstairs where it's a little bit more quiet, away from the chaos of the dogs, but I think that Archer is getting into something, so I'm probably gonna bring this back downstairs. Okay, well, this one just shot out at me. So write about a self-assured day. Write about the day ahead, how it would unfold if you took the most confident form of action at every turn. I'm not really feeling that one. I'm gonna pick 3 different ones and see if I can pick one of them. Okay, so we have Alchemize Pain, which is journaling about a hurtful situation, recent or distant, for 10 minutes, and then spend 10 minutes writing about how it was an impetus for positive change. I don't actually know what that word means, to be honest. Next, we have Explore Your Thoughts. Explore your thoughts today. Start each sentence with I'm thinking. Noting down your thoughts, watching them arise and then pass away can be incredibly calming and is the basis of many meditation techniques. I do like the idea of that. And finally, we have Change the Status Quo. Journal about one way you are dissatisfied with the status quo or dominant culture values. That seems really intense, and I'm not really ready for it. I'm really internal right now, okay? I'm very much focused on myself, which I know is awful, but I'm not quite ready for that higher level. Like, I will get there, but I need to spend some time on myself first. So I think I'm going to do this Explore Your Thoughts prompt, because that seems like something that I could really use. It will help me to get like everything out of my head and just onto the page. To wash my face and get my makeup off, but I did finish with my journaling prompt. So I did the first prompt that I got on the card, and then I actually decided to look up another one that was specifically about like joy and happiness, because as I mentioned this morning, I'm currently reading this, and I did listen to some more of it, but I didn't do the exercise because I kind of sat there and I was like, I really don't know. Like, the exercise is asking you to identify experiences of true fun, and they define what true fun is, but at the same time I still was like, I don't know, like I can't really identify what those experiences are. I was having a hard time with it, so I was like, I will just continue with the book and then kind of go back and do it and reread what I need to. I just feel like I'm not quite ready to do it yet. So the prompts that I did, I just found on Pinterest. I will put them here for you, but they were really easy and did help me to kind of like look inward a little bit more. I did enjoy the prompts from the card, but I just kind of wanted something a little bit deeper, and I also wanted something that was on the topic of this book because it's something that I have been thinking about a lot lately. So now I wanted to talk about habits. I have the goal of keeping up with my habits and organization, which is like cool, but what the heck does that mean? So for me, that means keeping up with daily and weekly habits. I have started tracking both my daily and weekly habits in Notion, which is super helpful. And using a habit tracker is how I make sure that I do all of this. It's just really easy. For example, I haven't updated this one yet, but for today's daily view, I have like the habit tracker. So at the very top, I have my daily habits right here. And those are basically habits that I already pretty much have established. They're not ones that I'm really working on building. I generally do get them done. And then at the bottom here, because the iPad, the view is kind of funny, but I have my healthy habits and my personal habits. Essentially, I've divided it into ones that are like toward health and fitness, and then ones that are just feel good habits. So these are all of the ones that I am working on actually actively building. They're just random things, but they are kind of the things that I feel like when I do them, I feel like my best self. And the way that I make sure that I'm actually doing these and making it easy is by incorporating them into routines. So I've really set myself up with a great morning and night routine, and now I'm working on a work routine as well, but that has just made a massive difference for me. This is also actually where my habit of keeping the house uncluttered and organized comes in. So every night I'm doing like a nightly tidy. I'm taking like 10 minutes or so and just resetting the living room, tidying up anything that is bugging me, also emptying those baskets. I've talked about baskets a lot and how I have them in the living room specifically, where anything that doesn't go in that room I will just put in the basket, and then I walk around the house at the end of the night and empty out that basket. It just makes such a difference. So then I'm also able to keep up that goal. So really the habits goal encompasses a lot of other goals as well. But by having these habit trackers and all these different check boxes, whenever I check something off, I just feel so good, like that little dopamine hit. It gets me, honestly. But I mentioned I started with tracking weekly habits as well. So we have my weekly routine here, which you will have seen a little bit in last week's video, but this essentially gives me the layout of what I'm doing every day, like my kind of non-negotiables for every single day. And it's breaking up the cleaning of the house into the week, so then it's not just one day of doing a bunch of things. And it just, I don't know, it helps to keep me on track and really helps with that workflow sort of thing as well. And this is where the organization comes in as well. It's keeping up with like updating these things. I do genuinely enjoy that, but sometimes I just find myself being lazy. So that's where that kind of half of that habit comes in. But at the bottom here, I just have my little weekly habit tracker. So these are all of the ones that I'm doing, and I can actually mark this one off because it is my journal prompt. So that's all done. It might seem like a lot, like I feel like I keep track of everything, but there's a reason for it. All the things that I'm keeping track of, they show that I am progressing. So when I kind of feel like I've been stagnant and not really doing anything, I can look back on these things and see, no, like I actually have been making a ton of progress and I have done a ton of things. Actually, while we're here and I'm closing this out, I'll also show you my completed little schedule for YouTube, how I have all of that set up, because I just feel so excited about all of it, honestly. So as you can see, we've got a ton of content coming over the next month and over the next couple months. Honestly, I've just been feeling so refreshed and renewed and ready to make content. So I hope that you guys have been enjoying these videos too, because I think that they are a lot of fun. So that's actually going to be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in another new one very soon. Bye.